Ding Dong, the Wicked, they're dead. They're all dead.
Huh?
All three of them, they're dead.
Huh?
Whitebeard, dead. Zoro, dead. Law, well, people are trying to figure out other stuff with Law, but they're dead. One Piece TCG ban list came out. People, they did it. Were they way too late
so
in
glad.
doing this? Yes. Is it appreciated that it's happening at all? Also, yes. Like,
I mean, compare it with like the Japan. So we're the only ones with such a strict ban list.
yeah.
And
Japan doesn't
I
have
think
any of
it's
it
valid.
banned, but yeah.
Yeah, because they're not. I don't know. I feel like they recognize
Dude, it's just
not playing like
yeah.
scumbags because they want to play decks for characters they like.
Yeah, I was watching like, and okay, yeah, anecdotal, whatever. I was watching like match footage from like Japanese players, like because I like to watch like the championship, like they stream them in Japan, like the tournaments and stuff. So I like watching the streams of the matches, and like one thing I have noticed is that like the Japanese players, like I don't know, I saw a Japanese Katakuri player, and they played 10-drop Big Mom, and then like the next turn they started like doing other stuff, which is valid. But then when you look in his hand, he had another 10-drop, and I'm like, my dog, just play the other 10-drop. Like that's like just chain those. Like if you're playing me with green purple Dofi and I have more than one 10-drop Dofi, like dog, on your last turn before I hit 10 Dawn, you better not attack or do any of that nonsense, because I'll let you know right now, like I am freezing whatever you rest for 3 turns, and it's not debatable, it's not arguable. But they don't do that. And then like I was just trying to explain to people, if you play any sort of competitive like game, or any game at like a high level with like competition and stuff, like different regions just have different, like they have different metagames and different play styles. That's part of the reason.
Let me break it down.
Yeah.
I have a game theory.
Shouts
Shouts out to Five Nights at Freddy's,
Yeah.
specifically for John.
Hell
Otherwise,
yes.
I'd be making the fun out of this fucking
Dude,
movie.
also, real quick, side tangent into the opening. Dude, I saw the Five Nights at Freddy movie. Actually pretty good. If you're a fan of FNAF like I am, if you like yourself some FNAF lore, watch the movie. I thought it was really good.
It's definitely the kind of thing where like,
And
I'll get high and watch it, like I did with the Mario movie.
Hell yes. All you need to know is that the Jim Henson Company did the animatronics, and they look amazing. Like
That's sick as fuck. That's
Yeah.
kind of the reason why I'd even bother watching
yeah,
it.
I need to see Freddy Fazbear solo fight Skeksis from Dark Crystal. That's what I need.
Okay.
Anyways, break it down. Break it down.
So like, okay, in the United States, well, what we have is kind of like a crisis, so to speak, in trading card games. Yu-Gi-Oh is very unstably expensive.
Yeah.
There's a lot that's gotten cheaper. Like I'm sitting here like, oh wow, I don't have to fucking pay $700 for my pet deck now. But it also means that my pet deck probably isn't fucking worth shit in a competitive sense. I'm fine with that. Like Yu-Gi-Oh's, I do not care about playing competitively. I just want to play with my friends and do my shit. But others are not minded that way, so they spend $300 to $700 on decks. Magic is far worse, as we've discussed, and as poor souls in our Discord, Paramecia Flower Capital, links everywhere, they have described how Magic goes. Like, we're in a bit of a crisis, right?
Yeah.
Especially because like there's so many people out here that are like, oh, these trading cards are like investments and this and that. I'm gonna sell these for so much. Like that's why Lorcan is flying off the shelf.
Yeah.
That's why Pokemon at Target, you cannot buy more than 2 booster packs to this day still.
Dude, let me find it. My hold Hold on. Oh, cool. Oh my god, wait. Sorry, I checked my email because I got a whole bunch of things at once. And my Monkey D. Luffy cards shipped, and I bought them today. So, geez,
Hell yeah.
they work hella fast. That's not what I was talking about. Let me go. The card shop that I go to put out a post, and I thought it was amazing because they got a Lorcana restock. And let me just read this for you.
Oh god.
Lorcana restock, like booster boxes, $230 a box. Limited stock, first come, first serve. And it doesn't look like they got like a lot in the picture that they posted. So I'm like, dude,
yeah.
Lorcana, oh my god, talk about freaking like short selling, dude. Lorcana, like they
literally
yeah.
fuck you if you want to play that game.
Yeah.
Like you're just fucked.
Yeah, insanity, dude. I can't I couldn't do that.
Yeah, we already did our bit about how Lorcana predictably is hyperinflated.
Yeah, we already did the $6,000 Elsa bit. Like we don't need to do it again.
But in Japan, like trading cards are just cheaper.
Yeah,
like wholesale, just fucking cheaper. Aftermarket or like not.
Aftermarket or not. But also, I learned recently. I've been watching. Shoutouts to Joshua Schmidt. He's like a multiple-time Yu-Gi-Oh! World Champion, like finalist and winner. I think he won this year's like Master Duel event.
Friend of the show.
Yeah, friend of the show, Joshua Schmidt. But he was. I like watching his YouTube channel because he like watches these Yu-Gi videos and like I don't know. I like watching any like really good competitive player like talk about the games or like if they're on commentary in fighting games because dude, their commentary is so like. There's a funny bit of I forget the match, but there's a match where Justin Wong is commentating with Yipes, and like during the match, like a situation is being set up, and he's like Yipes, and Yipes is like what, and he's like he's gonna get knocked down in the corner, and he's gonna wake up, block for 2 seconds, and then super, and Yipes is like that is the like. He's like, you can't call that. Like, that's the stupidest. Like, no, that's not going to happen. He's smarter than that. And he's like, all right, watch. It happens play by play, like, just like that. And Yipes is like, nah, that was recorded. He's like, you knew. Like, how did you know? It's like, bro, like. So, anyways, Joshua Schmidt does the same kind of stuff with Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, he'll talk about, like, mindsets and stuff. But he specifically was explaining one time about the OCG. So, like, the overseas, the Eastern, like, play, like their format.
Japan, Korea, generally.
Yeah. They have Japan has like a different rarity system that's a little bit closer to like how One Piece or like Pokemon kind of does it, where like they actually have multiple printings of a card at different rarity levels to make the prices lower for some of those cards to make it better for people to get into. Like,
right, but because like fucking on one hand, Konami, on second hand, like Konami will listen to their Japanese like player base because it's just always been cheap, and if they raise the price, it'd be how dare you, we're burning every fucking local game shop.
Yeah.
But shit in the US has always been like investment minded. Always.
Yeah, always.
And so like what I want to posit to get back to the like main thing is that like in Japan, the people that are playing the One Piece trading card game are seasoned trading card game players who also really fucking love One Piece.
Yeah.
So they're here like us being like, oh my god, it's really cool this card has an effect like this because it mirrors this and that.
Yeah.
Or, oh wow, like I really love this character. Let me make a deck this way or that way. In the US, the same people who are like investment minded are also just going to be fucking chip clamp like I don't even know what I'm trying to say. They're just like gonna go for
the
tier 1 shit.
Yeah.
Yes. That's really what it is. Cause like and the thing is like, does it end up working out for them? Unfortunately, kind of, especially in scenarios where like Whitebeard is just really that fucking good.
Yeah.
Or more specifically, Whitebeard is just that fucking like autopiloted.
Yeah.
There's very zero skill.
Yeah.
Anyone can play it effectively.
Yeah.
But
and
what happens in these environments is all of a sudden someone will fucking bust in with a tier 4 deck that people are like, wait, what the fuck? Shouts out to fucking Jessica, I forget her name.
Oh, with Rika?
With the Rika decks, like, recently at YCS's. Like, fucking Rika, I would never fucking guessed.
Yeah.
But she just fucking loves that shit because, like,
it's
I don't know, I haven't seen interviews, but, like, in my brain, it's like, trans girl.
Like, dude, it's literally, like, okay, Joshua Schmidt he was talking about, like, regional stuff. This ties the whole discussion together. It's like, because different regions have different metagames of how they play the game, like any game. And it's like, you know, even if we're playing the same game, like if you and I are playing the same game as, you know, we have the same exact cards, but we just, there is a difference in how we think about the cards and how we play the cards.
Yeah.
And like, for Yu-Gi-Oh!, Rika is like a strictly EU thing. Like, Europe, like, they were the ones that, like, invented Rika. Like, there's Joshua Smith was saying, like, when they went to the Worlds, like, there was so many, like, American players that just were not ready for, like, the matchup. They're like, what the hell? And then on the opposite side of the token, the Runic Stun deck, Japan had, like, zero idea. They, like, they did not even conceive a thought about the fact that you could play Runic in a stun style deck and just stall, like, just like make your opponent just halt to a grind. And, like, so many Japanese players, like, lost to, like, the Runic stun deck players, and they're like, what on earth? Like, what did I just go up against? Like, and the Japanese players, like, there was a couple people who were like translating for the Japanese players, and Josh Smith said that, like, the Japanese players were literally, like, they were so, like, afterwards, they were, like, asking all these questions about how the deck works and all this, because they legitimately, like, did not know. And mind you, this is, like, the highest level of competitor, and it's like, dog, like, what on earth? So it's the same in, like, every game, because I always think back to, like, fighting games where specifically Marvel 3, America, we were all hype on Wesker when Ultimate Marvel 3 came out. We were like, dude, X Factor level 3 Wesker is a problem. If you don't know Marvel 3, like, it's a 3v3 fighting game. X Factor is basically the comeback mechanic. So you press all 4 buttons at once, and your character goes Kaioken. They glow red, and they're faster, they're stronger, and everything does more damage. Like, just across the board. It's like, and depending on how many characters you have left, that's how much more powerful it gets. So if you're the last character alive and you pop X Factor, that's like the refined, like, ultimate version of your character, right?
Most hype shit is seeing X Factor, like, level 3 X Factor, meaning they're the only person alive, successfully hitting not the happy birthday when you get 2 of the opponent's characters. You get the Merry Christmas. Fucking level 3 X Factor and Merry Christmas, fucking guaranteed. Dude. Round end. It is so hype.
Honestly, momentum shift, guaranteed set win. I'll say it. I don't think anybody has come back. The mental fortitude to come back from getting hit with a Merry Christmas is like, dog.
Yeah, like, but you literally should just take your stick and drive it through your chest.
Yeah. But, like, okay, so Marvel 3, America, when the game came out, like, US players were, like, convinced that X Factor level 3 Wesker was the strongest character in the game. And I remember the discourse around Virgil. I was hyped for Virgil because I'm a Devil May Cry, like, fanboy. So I loved Devil May Cry 3 and 4. And so playing Virgil, I was like, dude, he's like, I already mained Dante. I was like, dude, Virgil's going to be so cool. I bet he's going to translate so awesome from the game. Like, either way, if he's bad, he's going to be cool. I'm going to play him. I don't care. It was one of those characters. Like, I don't care if he's going to be bad. I'm going to play him.
A pet character.
Yeah. Japan, on the other hand, was like, oh, dude, like, no, you guys, why aren't you guys playing him? Like, he's really broken. And we were like, dude, no, he's not. Like, he sucks. All of his normals are slow and like whatever. And then Japanese players come over and they hit standing heavy punch and the hitbox hits behind Virgil. And that was our first clue as to like, wait a minute, like, hold up. And then they hit you with the ground bounce and then they used spiral swords. And then they proceeded to do medium wheelbarrow kick, 2 Helmbreakers, sword toss, repeat into infinity, because you could just use the spiral sword super and you can loop that same sequence of attacks for as much meter as you have, and it costs 1 meter to do spiral swords, so like you can kill any character as long as you just generate the meter for it. And it's like, bro, as soon as that was figured out, and then people figured out that Virgil's X Factor level 3 was broken because all of his slow normals became like basically 1 frame. And then on top of that, there's a bug in the game that if any character uses an install super and then they do X Factor, the X Factor multiplication of like their speed and power is like multiplied even more. So Virgil,
so fucked, yeah.
Virgil uses his Devil Trigger, which gives him access to more movement options, and all of his special moves are bigger hitboxes. And then he has level 3 X Factor, and it's like, dog, this character's broken as hell. So it's different. All to tie this back to the discussion of this ban list. People were like, oh, well, Japan, like, didn't ban any of the Whitebeard stuff, and they, like, found a way around it. And it's like, yeah, but, like, they're playing a different game than us, whether you want to believe it or not.
Yeah, like y'all are playing like scum.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Like, they're playing...
Japan's playing what they want.
Yeah, they're playing scummy stuff, but, like, with the stuff they want, which is why you see the player... There's a guy who plays the Odin leader who's, like, dude, his tweets are so wholesome. He'll, like, win tournaments, and then he's just like, I just really want people to like Odin. And it's just, that's it. And he's blowing people up with the Odin deck, which is, like, it actually looks super fun to play. But,
and like over here, we'd consider it like a tier 4.
Yeah.
If even tiered.
Yeah. And it's like, dude, like, I don't know. But anyways, we banned those leaders. Our metagame needed it. And I think now that we're going into like sort of a slower meta, I think this is healthy for the game. I do agree that it should have happened at the beginning of OPO4. I don't know why they waited until a month before OPO5, but better late than never. And some people were like, oh, like, why did they even bother doing this? Because when OPO5 drops, it wasn't going to matter anyways because all the red decks were going to die. And it's like, okay.
That's not true.
Like, giant asterisk, because that's based on what happened in Japan, which we've already been over, is playing a different metagame than us. Like, there is nothing to say.
Example?
There is nothing to say that the new red cards that came out, which, like Chaka, for instance, that's a Chaka card that's not Rebecca leader specific, that is like, it's like a 6,000 power character, and its ability is like, oh, Dawn -1, give 2 rested Dawn to anything. And it's like, bro, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna play Whitebeard unbanned. I'm gonna summon Chaka. I'm gonna swing with everything, and then give 2 rested Dawn to Whitebeard, and I'm swinging at you for 8k. It's like that's great. That's just great.
I think the best example of like the dichotomy in metas, while granted this is just out of how the ban lists are very, very different. Do you remember when we briefly both got into like paper Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah.
During Power of the Elements? Do you remember how much Sprite Blue fucking cost week of?
Oh, dude, it was insane.
It was like $80.
Yeah.
It was nuts. And people went to tournaments with sprites in TCG. Nothing that big. They were like, okay, yeah, it's okay, but like it's not oppressive like it is in Japan.
Yeah.
And it all it took was like that. What's that one guy? He's like a Yu-Gi-Oh guy. He abbreviates his name like with 3 letters. I always think it's like MTG.
I think it's MBT.
There we go.
Yeah.
That guy was like, yeah, dude, they have Max C. We don't.
Yeah.
Like, that's the big difference. Their staples are 2 stars. Ours are not.
Yeah.
So sprites kind of don't fucking matter. And like, while sprites are still like pretty good, like $80 then compared to, and I think this is a very overblown price, $20 now for Sprite Blue.
Yeah.
Like, that just speaks for itself.
Yeah.
Completely different game.
It's crazy that the Maxi's existence is in the OCG and not in, like, you talk to Japanese players and they're just like yeah, like it's just a thing that it's just a thing that we have to play around. It's fine. And that's the discussion. It's like, no, it's fine. Like,
and you talk to Americans,
it's just part of the game.
I hate Master Duel. I want Max C removed and banned and burned in every way. Yeah.
It's like, dog, don't play a stupid combo deck. I don't know what you want me to tell you, bro.
Or like play a combo deck that sets up negates early. Yet, like most, that are most decks that you can play now in some competitive sense would be able to counter Max C.
Yeah,
it's fine. Like, okay, like, oh, it has like a 93% like in deck like play rate. Okay, does it fucking decide anything? Rarely. Every deck of mine has Max C in it, just in case someone's dumb enough to actually stop their combo when I proc it.
Yeah. And that's why you run Crossout Designator, which is like
ban
one card in your deck and stop its effects from any source on the field.
For the rest of the fucking game.
Like, bro, you used Max C on me? No. But oh god, we've done it again. We've already been over this. We are a TCG podcast part-time, but full-time. We are Paramecia Fancast, a One Piece fancast where we review the latest chapter of One Piece and have different One Piece related discussions every single week. My name is John.
My name is Franz.
And oh baby, this chapter, I don't know if it's hitting different because of current going-ons in the world, but
dude,
it's really good. This flashback it hurts and it's going to continue to hurt, but it's like, oh, it's so good. Also, it felt really short.
It did.
It was 13 pages as opposed to I think normally we're like 16 around there.
Sure, but like I think how concise it was really fit with everything. I just, man, it's just the case. The last couple of chapters have been like really like fact and fiction are very different, but the way Oda depicts his fiction, like, yes, funny, haha, rubber boy, but also
displacement.
Fucking ethnic displacement, governments treating like anybody like absolute fucking garbage.
Yeah.
Arbitrary drawing of fucking geopolitical lines.
Yep. Yeah.
That causes immense strife to several groups of people.
Yep.
Like, it's the kind of thing where like a lot of people, left-leaning people on the internet who read One Piece are very like, is Oda a commie? Is Oda this? It doesn't necessarily matter what specific dogma he subscribes to. At the very least, he is incredibly aware of real life situations.
Yeah.
And wants to speak to that.
Yeah. And this chapter was so good.
Incredibly.
And also
I'm scared
there's
for the next one.
Yeah, I'm scared for the next one, but there's also some stuff midway through that I'm like, there's one line which we can get to that like, oh, it gets my gears going. But we get chapter 1079 Ginny, and we get reader request. This one is so cute. Bartholomew Kuma catching salmon in the river, and it's him Like, so I love this because Ginny is like on the grill with the tongs at the cookout, going ham, holding up sausages or something. I don't know what those are supposed to be, but either way, Kuma, okay, normal.
Oh, they're his gloves.
Oh,
he's not doing that on purpose.
Yeah. I get it now because the little sweat mark he didn't mean to. Okay, so this is the funniest thing to me. So normal bears, like, catching salmon, you see them, they like, they're catching salmon in the river.
They fucking slap them.
Yeah, Kuma's trying to do that, and he pops one away with his devil fruit, and the other salmon is like watching, like, what? Like, I just, this is, have you seen, I know you've seen the video, viewer and Franz, I know you've all seen the video of, it's like when they're trying to like clean out a pond or something, and they have this giant tube that sucks the fish through it so they can put the fish somewhere else while they like clean the water. Like,
Yes,
and it's like a giant, like, it's a giant, like, what are those, the Rube Goldberg machine. It's like a giant Rube Goldberg series of tubes that like suck the fish through, and it's
I love memes with that and like other soundtracks. I feel like there's one with like the ODST soundtrack.
Yeah, I've seen one with the warthog, the final warthog mission song, like from Halo, and it's the salmon going through the tube, like
finish the fight.
Yeah, but I just like that salmon. I want everybody to know, like, zoom out a little bit of this reader request, and that salmon is flying through the air at like, I don't know how many miles per hour.
It's basically a fucking missile going all the way. And no doubt, wherever it lands, if it's like appropriate, I'm guessing here freshwater, it will become an invasive species by itself somehow. Salmon are really fucked that way.
Oh my god, I love this. This one is great. I'm glad that we get both of them in like a little cover story. I think Ginny is great. I love her. Dude. I am also terrified.
Yeah, like, oh, I love her. I hope nothing bad happens.
Yeah, as tears are streaming down my face.
Asterisk, nothing bad's gonna happen next chapter. Not at all.
Yeah, not at all.
But we start out this chapter kind of where we left off. We're 8 years after the God Valley incident, so 30 years prior to where we are in the story. Kumachi, I need your help. And then separate conversation. I've been coming here since your father's generation. It was such a shock when he up and vanished, but I'm glad to see his sons growing into such a great pastor. I'm sure your parents are happy wherever they are now. Oof.
Yeah,
and we see Pastor Bartholomew Kuma, age 17, using his pawpaw fruit to get pain out of these old folks who apparently are the only inhabitants generally of this kingdom. And she's just like, oh, that's better. Thanks, my boy. And there's like a whole line of them. And they're all like super glad for him. They're like, oh, miracle hands. This is great. What a blessing. But couldn't you extend hours to weekdays too? And Ginny comes in. What, like, dude, okay. Like, it's half an hour in. Let me not be normal.
Let me not be normal.
Pastor Kuma, great, like, kind, gentle giant, this and that, whatever. And then Ginny, oh my god, she's so hot pant, yes, thank you. Undoubtedly pink haircut that doesn't make sense in real life, but, God bless it.
With the droopies.
Yeah, with those droopy, she's got like that fucking Ina thing going on.
Yeah, oh my god, yeah, she's got the little Ina tentacle things.
Like, fucking saintly man, bitch wife. Love it. I love it for them. And she comes on in, nope, only on Sundays.
Yeah, you're asking a lot for people who aren't paying us any money. Behave, you greedy old beggars. Oh no, it's Ginny the cheapskate. Ah, they're like laughing. Like, shut up, this ain't campground or a hospital. So pretty, but so foul-mouthed. From what I hear, the men in town can't stop vying for her affection. She's like, stop changing the subject.
Haha.
And I love, like, oh, but then again, she's already got Kumachi. Like, the side of Kumachi's face makes me feel at ease. And he's like, oh, that's so sweet of you. She's like, they act this way because you spoiled them.
Dude, it's so cute. I really like it. Like, man, Bonnie deserved her mother being around. I'm like kind of actually tearing up. Like, dude, fuck, man.
I'm mad. I'd give you as much money as I could, Koichi, but it's already hard enough while just trying to get by paying the heavenly tribute. And now we've got this new king, don't we? Oh, yeah, the IRS. They say that King Bakori is a cruel man with a heart of stone. If we get sick, we can't pay our share of the heavenly tribute. And then he'll throw us all in jail. It's a travesty, I tell ya. The last geezer they tossed in the cell starved to death, I hear. He's like, he won't even pay to feed the prisoners. He's a stupid skinflint king. I've always knew he was bad the way he bows and scrapes to the celestial dragons. Like, we have to be healthy or it's a death sentence. And Kuma's just like, well, I can help by removing any illness or pain you're feeling. Come every Sunday. And they leave like, thank you, Kumachi. And then, dude.
The bubble.
Dude, why is Kuma the best character? Why is Kuma like one of my new favorite characters now?
Dude, and like the parallels of fucking
the nothing happened moment. Dude, like so okay, Kuma, like, night falls and he walks into the church and all of the pain that he has been pushing out of them, just like in Thriller Bark, is sitting there in the church, and he sighs and he sticks his hand in just like Zoro, and he gets destroyed. And Ginny's like nursing him back to health. She's like, every week you do this, and they have no idea how much you suffer for them. There's no other choice. That massive pain and suffering won't disappear until someone accepts it, which is like, damn, like, that's powerful. Like, and then, and so hold on. So you turn the page, I'll finish the scene and then we'll go into it. Because he's like, if left untouched, it makes its way back to the original person. But more than the pain, I feel delighted to see their happiness. I'm sorry to put you through this anguish. I'll toughen up and be stronger. And she's like, that's not the issue. And he's like, they gave us some food, didn't they? Let's eat. And she's like, yeah! Just instantly, like, problems absolved. But, okay, like, that massive pain and suffering won't disappear until someone accepts it, which is like, oh, damn, dude, like, symbolically fucking powerful. Like,
crazy.
You know, Luffy, like, suffering through all this pain, obviously has his friends to rely on. You know, Zoro takes, you know, burdens the pain of his captain to help him. Sanji and Zoro, like, trying to take the burden of the captain. Like, oh, but then, if left untouched, it makes its way back to the original person. Okay. So
I think we're thinking the same thing.
That's why Kuma's heading back to Egghead, right? That's why he's trying to launch himself back?
Because
like that
has
thing,
to be something.
Yeah, it's
with
like
her touching it.
Yeah, it's his memories, but also, like, I don't know. It's like, okay, his memories, like, are also painful, like, thinking about everything that's happened. So that's his pain, because I mean, even before, you see him like, oh, it's like her back was killing her and now she's healed, and then he's like, oh, like, any light illness or pain you're feeling, I can remove it. And it's like, dude, he can remove like that. Maybe that's how he did it. His painful memories that he had to, like, you know, he removed them because that was the thing that was giving him the most pain. Like, remembering, you know, the past and what happened. So whatever the end of whatever Ginny's fate is probably the thing that was the most painful to him, I'm assuming, or something else.
Fuck.
And that's gonna be the reason why he, like, you know, he gave up his memories, and that's why they're like, That's why he's so mechanical and robotic by the time we see him in the story. And they're like every character, Ivankov and Dragon, are like, what happened to you? Like, what did they do to you? And it's like, dude, he, like, knowing this now, it's like, dude, I think he did it to himself. And that's why, like, whatever triggered when Bonnie shared in his pain, it's drawing him back to his memories, to his, like, somebody has to accept, Oh, man.
So we're definitely thinking of the same thing. Like, we have the same thing in mind of, like, what the fuck is up with that bubble. But the thing that I latched onto is, if left untouched, it makes its way back to the original person. So, I mean, like, okay, Vegapunk's capable of a lot of things, and he's also talked specifically about the pawpaw fruit and how in messing with it and being around Kuma, he's proven things that, like, the soul is real or like,
he talks about you could put, like, with it you can push, like, metaphysical concepts, like
right. Like, I really want to go back and see what specifically Vegapunk was talking about with relation to the pawpaw fruit, but, like, my big question is, why is the bubble still there? So there's two potential answers.
Yeah.
I feel. The first is, like, because science. And I think that's totally fine.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like a fucking cheap thing. Like, because science is really reasonable with everything that we've been told. And that would fall into the path of, like, your theory. What I'm worried about is, what if there isn't an original person any longer?
Oh,
do you see where I'm getting at?
Oh, what if I can rephrase, because I think I'm on the same page now. What if the bubble is what's left of Kuma? Like, what if that is Kuma? Like,
yes, like, what? We're getting into, like, a ship of Theseus kind of thing.
Yeah,
where like the pacifista prototype known as the warlord Kuma is not Bartholomew Kuma, former revolutionary. Ontologically, they are separate through ship of Theseus kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And the process of going from one to another was stripping Bartholomew Kuma out in order to have room for the pacifista. Like, that is one aspect. The other potentially worse fucking aspect is Bubble happened as Ginny was fucking dying.
Yeah.
And then she died, and that's all that's left of her. Question mark.
Yeah.
I don't particularly believe that. I do think it is still Kuma's.
Yeah.
But we're in a weird spot. And so I think we're kind of on the same page of, like, all the options. I don't want to get into the philosophies of it.
Yeah. I will say, like, okay, okay. What if another theory for the egghead incident of what happened? There's been theories of, like, oh, what if Kuma's, like, what if Kuma's memories get shared to the world, and that's the big thing that everybody sees, what a horrible thing the world government's done, whatever. But, like, it gets super, like, metaphysical. Okay, because he takes on the entirety of the pain, right, of these people. And it's like, oh, like, the massive pain and suffering doesn't go away until somebody accepts it. But you could get super, like, symbolic with it. And it's like, okay, like, yeah, Zoro took on all of Luffy's pain. But, like, from what we learn after the end of Marineford and all that stuff is, like they have each other, right? They have, like, Luffy has his found family. And it's like, Zoro, like, he took the pain on his own, like, by himself, but it's like if could multiple people take the pain and it's shared between all of them and it's lesser, right? And so what if the big incident is that, like, if the world sees Kuma's thing, then the entire world gets a piece of his pain, right? And they all shoulder it, and maybe that, like, causes, like, Bello Betty's fruit forces like, or it empowers people like around her, but what like this is a true empowerment of the Revolutionary Army. This is another like embolsterment of the world of like everybody gets to shoulder Kuma's pain and they see what's happening and they get emboldened and like we're gonna do it. But also like the Straw Hats, like if they see it like at this point in the game, it's gonna be like if all of them shoulder Kuma's pain, like it's not gonna be another Zoro incident of nothing happened. It's like, okay, they're all grown enough where they're ready to like all accept Kuma's pain in order to help Bonnie. And it's and I mean help Kuma in the end when he gets there, because I don't even know what's gonna happen. Like that's still up in the air for me. I'm like, does he become whole again? Like is it one final mission directive that he has? Like, but I do like this concept of like it fits thematically of like Kuma still in his young like you even see it later on. Like I think it's like the next panel or the next page. Where she's like, oh, like, let's get married. And she's like, why not? Marry me, goddammit. Like, you love me. I'll make you happy. Yeah.
Okay. Am I showing my butthole a little bit? Sure. Women like this, 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. And I just, because he even brings up, like, oh, like, it's me. I'm the Buccaneer blood. Like, or he remembers what his father said. Like, his father pleading with the Celestial Dragons, like, I'm the one who has Buccaneer blood. My wife does not let her and my son go free. And he's just like, I don't want to bring you misery. Like, at this point in his life, symbolically, like, the only thing he knows how to do is shoulder the pain by himself. Like, shoulder all these burdens on his own. And it's like, dude, it takes teaching that lesson to the Straw Hats each, teaching that lesson to Luffy, like breaking him down to his breaking point, and then Luffy comes out of it different than Kuma. Like Luffy comes out of it the opposite of Kuma. Like I truly think now after reading this chapter that like the reason why Kuma did that to Luffy and the Straw Hats like really was, I think, to push Luffy past his breaking point, to show him like to get him to the point where Jinbei had him, is like, you can't do things on your own. Like, you need your family. It's like the one lesson that Kuma like like this chapter we see the one lesson that Kuma like hadn't learned yet,
or like took forever to learn effectively.
Or learned too late.
Yeah. Oh my god, that is such a great point. And like at the same rate, this also brings up the question of like, okay, Kuma has this like moral quandary against like being with someone out of him carrying the Buccaneer blood. One, if like if everyone in the world shares with him the plight of the Buccaneers, like that would be something that parallel to unfortunate real world events right now. Like, okay, October 7th, like, is what people are calling the start of this, like, last stage of genocide. But, okay, sure, let's go with that October 7th. Week 1, so many people were like, oh no, but this, but that, like, either flip-flopping or just, like, full-chested being like, I don't see what's wrong, like, these are terrorists, this and that. We're now, like, a month away from that. We're at a point where 2-3 weeks from now, we are likely to see some direct action domestically. And by that, I mean, like, not just, like, protests that have happened last week, which have been enormous protests.
Yeah.
We're going to see, like, people being like, look, like, I'm not saying, like, it's going to be, like, a January 6th or something, but people are going to go to DC and not march out there saying, like, oh, let's, like, please cease fire. There's not going to be a please anymore.
Yeah, it's getting to that point, and it's like, dude, like, there's...
Yeah, and so, like, we could definitely see something along those lines, like you were saying, happen around the world, both out of this like prejudice that like most people probably don't know about because this whole Buccaneer stuff.
Yeah.
But then like the other question I have is, does like it's a part attached to does Bonnie have Buccaneer blood? And we'll get to like my thoughts on that later.
Oh, dude, it's crazy. Like, dude, let's just continue because there's other stuff. So Kuma is like, he doesn't want to bring misery to Ginny, even though he does really love her. But he's like, oh, look, like another article about the freedom fighters. They caused protests in several countries, and now they're wanted by the authorities. Dragon, he's so cool. He must be someone's hero, I bet. One day I want to go out to sea and use my life to help others. Which, like, again, it's tiny, but I love this panel of like white background, the little particles floating.
His blush.
Yeah, his blush, like, dude, his dream. He wants to go out to sea and use his life to help others.
But going back to your point, he is still thinking very self-sacrificially.
Yeah. Like, he still doesn't get it, dang it. So they bring him like, oh, here, like, take some fish, like, whatever. And then we go 8 years into the future again. 22 years ago, disaster struck. Royal City, Sorbet Kingdom, Kuma at age 25. And Kuma is screaming, like, give your prisoners back. Help us, Kumachi. Like, you dare defy the royal army. Who is this monstrous lug? I'm a pastor from the church in the south. Well, father, I'm sure you've heard that the laws have changed. Now we're free to do what we want with people from the south. You're turning them into slaves? This is an unforgivable sin. And Kuma uses his pawpaw fruit and, like, nukes the city center. This is rebellion. And, like, we get a snapshot of the king, and this is what we were talking about. Like, Your Majesty, I must admit that this policy is going over poorly with the people of the realm. Don't worry, they'll soon be led astray by labels and look down their noses at the south. Starting today, only the north part of the island is the actual Sorbet Kingdom. The world government determines the amount of heavenly tribute owed by the number of its citizens. In other words, the south, with all of its old people who cannot pay their tribute, should be cut loose. In doing so, the country will be prosperous and balanced. And it's like, it's so messed up, dude. I do love the paneling, the page transition of, like, you read it left to right, and then, like, kind of how it would be in a movie, like the jail cell going like clang, and prison.
Yeah,
I love that. But the thing above it is so messed up that it's like, oh, like,
starting from like the first thing he says, they will soon be led astray by labels. That is what is so fucked. I like, okay.
Yeah, to other somebody is like, the first stage in, like, this dangerous road called genocide.
Quite literally. So, like, we're talking, okay, so there's 10 stages of genocide. I don't particularly remember, like, what researcher put out these classifications, but the first one is quite literally classification. You must define an other in some way. And the way they're defining it is literally through this border, north-south. Yeah. And what people, like, hypothetically would go into it as far as, like, being led astray from by labels is being like, oh, you're a thing. You are a southerner. No, yeah. I'm not a southerner. I'm on the border. Yeah. Like, come on, man.
I have it here. I found a little, like, thing on the Holocaust Memorial Day Trust.
Yeah.
So fairly official. But it says, based on research by Dr. Gregory H. Stanton, and it's the 10 stages of genocide. So classification, symbolization, discrimination, dehumanization, organization, polarization, preparation, persecution, extermination, and then denial, which is the final step.
Yeah. And it's like we're going through so many in this, like, very short chapter.
Yeah.
But it's fucking plain as day. And so, like, we're we're hitting a point where it's like the labels thing, it just like really fucking gets me, because like if to make an unfortunate metaphor, no, I'm not even gonna make the metaphor, like I'm just gonna fucking say what I mean. We're at a point right now, like with what's going on in Palestine, of like, oh, something, don't do this because it's anti-Semitic.
Yeah, like
is it really?
That's the defense. That's like,
and so people are getting led astray by labels of not wanting to seem like they're anti-Semitic, or not wanting to, because like anti-Semitism is synonymous with Nazism, and nobody in their right mind would want to be compared to a Nazi. So of course, like everyone and their mother is out here like, no, I'm not an anti-Semite, so let me start realigning myself
let
away
me be
from
led
this
astray by
supposed
label.
Exactly. I will let you lead me astray so I can fit proper to the correct label.
Yeah.
And like
so messed up.
It's like really like and like, just so the take doesn't go out to the internet nuanceless, anti-Semitism is real. It is actually awful. This and that. Some of the people barking anti-Semitism right now are anti-Semitic themselves. So like, let's be fucking honest. If anyone in Congress says the word anti-Semitic, I'd rather spit in their fucking face, because they have no idea what they're talking about.
Yeah. Oh God. It's all true. But dude, and then like to separate them with like, oh dude, the arbitrary like, oh, like we're cutting them loose because they can't pay, so like we're not even counting them as part of the kingdom because they don't have enough money to like pay for the tribute. So like again, like we went through, like they're literally not counted as human in this because they don't have the money to pay towards the tribute. So like, if we just get rid of these useless numbers, like if we can lower the amount of people we have by like getting rid of these useless things, like then like, yeah, we'll be able to pay the heavenly tribute. It's like, dude, what? Like,
it's just fucking like loopholes. This is basically fucking gerrymandering.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. They just gerrymandered in one piece. They
gerrymandered the fucking island in half.
Dude, he gerrymandered the island for. Oh my God.
Oh, like we don't want these voters, so let's put a line this way, and then voila, they're insignificant. They're basically not voters anymore.
Yeah. Oh my God. This is disgusting, which makes it hype for what happens next. So
shouts out Oda. Thank you, Oda.
Yeah. Thank you for understanding, Oda. But they all get locked up in prison, and he's like, why are you in here too? And then we were clamoring for them to let you go, and then they beat us to a pulp. And I love like all the people that are like ride or die with Kuma are just laughing. And then, dude, again, Kuma's face is just like pissed, because I mean, after everything he's been to, and he's like, Ginny, I'm afraid our land is turning into a place of the haves and have-nots. And then she's like, King Bakori is just a tool of the celestial dragons. This whole plan came down from someone above him. If we want to fight back, we have to take on the world government. And you see explosions and some silhouettes that we know. Yeah, you won't escape the sad imitation of a celestial dragon. He makes me boil with anger. And they're like, you know, through someone's interference, the Sorbet Kingdom avoided disaster, and everyone's like, the king's given in, the enslavement policy is no more. I'm so glad. I didn't want to live like that. And like, oh, this man, we just get like a hard cut to like Dragon and Ivankov entering the prison, and it's like, this man you're infatuated with is certainly a wild one. You'll be impressed with him, Dragon. Kuma, Ginny, so you've been imprisoned, eh? I'm here to get you. And they're like, is that you, big bro? Iva? Like, and is that... Listen up, Kuma. If you're still the same man as that boy back then, come with us and change the world. And we get the most hype double-page spread of the frickin' like Revolutionary Army.
Dude, it's so good. Like, 18, 20 years later, he still remembers. And he's like, oh, like, this shit's happening in my boy's kingdom. I haven't seen him since then, but I know he will be a valuable asset.
Yeah.
Let's help him out. Oh, I love it.
Dude, the life. This just makes me even sadder for the reaction that Ivankov had to Kuma on the island.
Oh,
When they finally got Kuma back, because I'm like, now I'm interested. Now I want to go back through
Impel Down.
Yeah, Impel Down, but like Marineford when Ivankov was there, because I want to see Ivankov's just like I've gone back and watched Bonnie's reactions during Marineford. I want to go back now and look at Ivankov's, because I feel like this flashback is just making me like, it just makes me more sad for these characters, but also I'm like, oh, it's so good, but like, damn, like these characters are so freaking deep. I love them.
Okay. So we get like a bunch of Oda boxes, lovely chef's kiss type stuff. The freedom fighters led protests in countries around the world after the arrival of the great era of piracy and the tragic fall of Ohara. The group took up arms, and with the addition of Kuma to the twin pillars of Dragon and Ivankov, they underwent a transformation and became the revolutionary army the world would later know and fear. And of course, double page spread, we couldn't have it without a yeehaw.
Yeah, yeah, so good.
We get like, because before this, we've only once really seen and heard a pre-revolutionary army dragon speak, and this was to Vegapunk, right before things started kicking off. He immediately starts talking about like, we still lack a solid source of funds. The plan is to act like mercenaries and lend our strength to rebellious elements seeking to overthrow their kings. So they're being picky and choosy with who they're contracting with, but they're selling themselves as mercenaries.
Yeah.
But to align with their final goal. And he continues, those who wish to join us will be taught how to use weapons and fight with them. One day, I want to raise this into a massive armed force scattered across the globe.
Man, dude. And I do, there's a couple things I want to point out. In the double page spread, Dragon does not have the face tattoo yet, but you can see the design of the face tattoo on like a sash that's around his leg. Like, it's the same design, the like X's with the little diamond in the middle.
Oh.
So he doesn't have the face tattoo yet.
It might be a burn scar.
Which, interesting.
You never know.
Yeah. Second off, because this is before, like, they later became the Revolutionary Army the world would later know and fear. Like, this is the early stages of it. Their Jolly Roger is not... We've seen the Revolutionary Army symbol, and it's like a giant, like, stylized, like, dragon. But this one on his ship is, like, a different... Like, it looks... Okay, it's either two things. It looks like a sword, but it also could be, like, if you look at it the other way, a dragon, like, with its wings spread, like, flying. I don't know what that's... I don't know what that could possibly mean, but it's just interesting to note that, like, they didn't have, like... The differences between when they first started and now is, like, I'm interested to see a couple more gaps filled in.
Right. And, like, maybe we'll get quite a bit more, but, oh, dude, it's such a fucking treat. And we get just a bit more. How did you learn how to use weapons, Dragon? I spent some time in the Navy. Sadly, I couldn't find any of the justice they wear on their backs. What a fucking hard-ass line, dude.
It's strange to be at odds when both the Navy and revolutionaries just want to help people. Like, and Kuma's like, well, I'm with you all the way, Dragon. You won't regret it. And then, oh, Kumachi is back. I'll return now and then. I want to make sure you're all right. Aw, that's so sweet. And he returns home, and then 8 more years passed. 14 years ago in a certain country, so we don't get the name of the certain country, you can kind of see some palm trees in the back and like the little buildings.
Yeah.
So
it's still nondescript, but
it's nondescript, but like, is this Egghead Island before it became Egghead Island?
Not impossible. Genuinely not.
Which would make sense as to why, like, this is where, like, depending on what happens with Kuma, like, this is where the base of operations for Vegapunk became. I don't know. Weird. Literally just going off a palm tree, but like, I digress.
And we get like, oh, you look happy, Ginny. Oh, is it showing? Revolutionary Army Captain, Eastern Forces. Tomorrow's the big day. We're going to meet up with Kumachi's group leader, remember? I can't wait. Heart. And it's like, dude, she's so cute.
Yeah.
And like, apparently Kuma's a fucking heartthrob. Just like, oh, wish I were Captain Kuma. Also a captain.
Yeah.
He gets the affection of everyone's crush. What? Don't crush on me, you creeps. Grow up. What a mouth. Which mood.
Yeah.
And then
we get Silhouette Man.
Silhouette Man, whoever that could be, fuck. And we move to Baltigo, Revolutionary Army headquarters. Dragon come in. Ginny's been captured, and here we see him with the tattoo. So between 22 and 14 years ago,
is when the tattoo happened.
The face stuff happened. But yeah, like, oh, I'm sorry. The enemy caught us unawares. So this is, what if this is Fuchsia or whatever.
Oh, God.
Not Fuchsia, but like the main Goa Kingdom.
Dude, maybe. Yo, Ginny's Luffy's mom, bro. Look at her.
So, okay. There are people saying that. On one hand, like, I get it. It's
yeah.
I get why you would gravitate towards that, because Luffy's mom is a giant fucking question mark hovering over everyone's heads, and Ginny eats a lot, and she's also captain of the East Forces. But also, like, look, okay, does Bartholomew Kuma does Bartholomew Kuma look like a cuck? And does Dragon look like a cuck-er?
Is Dragon the bull to Kuma's cuck? Like,
which maybe, but
yeah. Ushi no Mi model cuck.
Oh my god. I must cuck in order to awaken my fruit.
yeah, that's how you awaken.
Oh my god.
No.
So
I don't think she's Luffy's mom, but
at minimum, I think it's uninteresting.
Yeah, because
like, if she is cute.
Yeah, if she is cute, I don't see. So I'm torn between two things, right? We're seeing Ginny here. It was how old is Bonnie?
Bonnie is
she's like 20 something, right?
She's like Luffy's age-ish. Yes.
Okay. Jewelry Bonnie.
24. So she's 4 years older than Luffy.
So as of the current manga, she's 24, you said?
Yeah, so Bonnie would be 10.
So she would
Luffy would be 6?
Yeah, she would have to be 10 here. I don't take Oda for... Okay, Oda likes to stray away from, like, romance in general. So yes. I do not think he will delve his hands into... I don't think he's going to skip over wholesome relationship and just jump straight into cuckoldry.
Yeah.
So I do not think that it's going to be a thing of like, oh, well, like, it's not going to... I don't think it's a melodramatic thing of like, you know, oh, Kuma, while you're away, like, I was so lonely and I fucked Dragon and we had a kid 10 years ago.
It's like really like...
No, like...
out of it. It's not the tone that One Piece would really go towards.
Yeah. Yeah.
Only thing I'll give them credit for is like Luffy and Bonnie being siblings potentially is very adorable.
Yeah, I do like that. The one thing I think though, the theory that I'm sort of leaning more towards is that like I don't know how people would feel about this, but because she would be 10 years old already, I feel like for sure Oda would have like
brought
he
her
would
up.
He would not pass up a situation to show a baby Bonnie.
Especially because so we're 14 years ago, right?
Yeah.
The last thing we got was 8 years prior. She still would have been 2 years old. 2 years old when we open up the scene when like disaster struck.
Yeah.
And there's like a 3-year gap between then. Like
also not to mention that like because of his reaction earlier with his Buccaneer blood and not wanting to pass it on.
Right.
I am really leaning towards we saw in this flashback Stussy and we know Vegapunk. Like I really do I think that Bonnie might be a clone of Ginny.
And I think that's reasonable.
Like I think she might be a clone of Ginny that he wants to raise as like a dot, like as their symbolic child, because because to like this day, I guess in the story, like he is still afraid of like the ramifications of his birth, you know, like the ramifications of his bloodline.
I think another possibility, and this is definitely weird, specifically because the power in question is weird, but like the pawpaw fruit can really do some weird fucking shit.
Yeah.
Like we're talking about removing someone's pain.
Yeah.
So in that sense, who's to say you can't remove someone's memories, which is what we've brought up as the potential reason for the big bubble? Or who's to say you can't remove someone's age as well?
Yeah.
So it like this is a bit of a stretch, I'm willing to admit, but depending on whatever happens next chapter, we'll have like a clearer picture. But what I'm getting at is we shouldn't like, okay, there is the clone avenue, but we shouldn't shy away from the potential that like Bonnie just like might literally be Ginny as well.
Yeah.
Like that is entirely within that realm too, which if that really is the case, that is like, I feel so bad for Kuma, man. Imagine like losing your wife in a sense, but then gaining a daughter who is your wife and then having to raise your wife with all of this shit. Like, I know what I'm proposing is a little crazy.
No,
but I think it's not off the table.
No, definitely not.
It's more on the table than Dragon being like Kuma being a cuck.
Yeah. I'm trying to find the disambiguation here. So, chapter 1072 is when chapter 1072, the weight of memory, is when Vegapunk is explaining a little bit of how the pawpaw fruit works, because I'm on the fandom anti shoutouts, but this causes Vegapunk to flash back to the past when he was with Kuma and how he told him a story about a scientist from West Blue hypothesizing that a person weighs 21 grams less after dying, indicating that the lost weight is the person's soul. He found the story fascinating and wonders if things like memories and imagination have mass and volume too, intending to use Kuma's powers to help prove that, as it allows him to make intangible concepts and give them physical form or even transfer them to others. So so he and it all ties, okay, because like Kuma's memories, it all ties into oh god, no, I just thought of the worst. I just thought of the worst thing. like, okay, maybe Bonnie is a clone, right?
Sure.
But what if the memories that were in there were not Kuma's memories, but
What if
Ginny's?
they're Ginny's, right?
Yeah, and like, yeah, I think like you had said before, I'm just starting to grasp it. Like right before her death, in order to ease her pain, like he took all of her memories away, including of like him. Like,
Fuck.
yeah,
Fuck, dude.
yeah, and that's why Vegapunk specifically did not want want Bonnie. He didn't want anybody there, but he didn't want Bonnie to touch it because, like, I mean, not just because of like the knowledge that maybe she is a clone. I don't think that would even affect Bonnie that much.
No.
But I think the like Vegapunk is just afraid of her reaction to seeing like all of the like her being a clone and effectively getting her becoming Ginny and getting her memories back and getting to see the final moments of what Kuma did, you know? Like, I don't know how that would go down.
Like, and then we're back into the fucking, like, cyberpunk philosophy hellscape of, like, what if people ship of Theseus?
Yeah.
In which case, like, we don't know. Like,
yeah,
John and I, big fans of Destiny, they tackle that fucking question with, it just ruins your psyche. You're likely to just kill yourself at some point if there is no, like, fail-safe. You know, shouts out to Clovis Bray the First. 10 out of 10 guy did absolutely nothing wrong. Clarity is wrong. A great idea.
Hell yeah. Shoutouts to robot people. Shoutouts to Exos.
Exos are cool as fuck.
The coolest
ass.
The coolest race of people. Nothing wrong. Like, dude, I love minor Destiny 2 tangent. And it's not even a tangent. It's just me ranting and raving about a mission that you can't play anymore. But the final mission, in the Forsaken DLC, the one of the Exo characters, the robot people characters, Cade, he dies, and there's a final mission where you're going through his different, like, his like treasure stash, and each chest you open has a recording, and the whole premise is like each recording is made based on who Cade himself thinks killed him, and he's like, hey, if you're listening to this, it means you killed me. And, like, screw you, I cheated in every battle, like, you know, like, bite me. Like, I get the last laugh. Like, I won that last fight, and because I'm dead, you'll never get a rematch. It's all cheeky stuff like that. And then there's one that's literally, like, and to Clovis Bray and the Bray Foundation, like, the creator of the robot people, and he's like, if I ever find you, like, I will crawl back out of hell and demolish everything. Like, I will make you erased from existence. I hate you. And it's like, whoa, dude, like, what on earth?
Dude, it's the kind of thing where, like,
it's the coolest thing.
Obligatory, like, I wish everyone laid off the best.
Yeah.
Fuck Bungie executives, like, talk about being out of touch, like, terminally.
Yeah.
Don't know if I'll get the final shape at this point, but I do really want to see how Cade would feel about literally Clovis Bray coming back.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. Dude, I just got brain blasted again. And I don't know if this one hurts even more or less, but, like, okay. Whew.
I'm going to get hurt right now. That was a very
There would need to be more explanation, right? But hear me out. What if what we just said is true, right?
It's Ginny's memories. Doesn't matter.
It's Ginny's memories, and Kuma pushed them out of her.
Yes.
He pushed all of them out of her, including memories of, like, all of her memories are out of Ginny at this point. She is a brand new person.
Right.
What if Bonnie is Ginny?
Right.
She can freely manipulate her age with the fruit now. And what if that's, like, his sort, like, again, this would have to be explained, like, whatever happens when Ginny gets captured, something horrendous would have to happen. So much so that the only salvation for her would be to get rid of her memories. And if that was the case, like Kuma, you know, like if she's given the fruit or she has the fruit and if she's told that she is simply a child now, and if she is told that Kuma is her father, and that's Kuma's way of like still protecting Ginny, protecting her innocence, is that he's literally raising Ginny again, but like as a child. Again, I mean, it's a throwaway line, but if theory this is the case, the line of her like blurting out like, yeah, I'm 4 years older than you, like I'm in charge, would be like, okay, like now if this theory is to be any sort of believable, like if whatever horrendous thing happened and Kuma pushed all of her memories out, if she would have to have the devil fruit at this point, and then she's like just told that Kuma is her father.
Yeah, like,
and that would be,
you're 10, you don't know shit about your life before, that's your dad.
Yeah. And it's like, that's the only way to like save her, right? And so maybe like, again, going all the way back to it, that giant bubble, it can only go away when someone shoulders all that pain. And maybe now Bonnie is in a position where she's able to actually shoulder all of that pain, you know, with alongside or not of all the Straw Hats. And she's able to like, you know, come back as like, you know,
as
or remember,
Ginny.
Remember everything, and she would be Ginny.
Okay, to make light of the situation, because the concept is just literally breaking my heart.
No, yeah, it's the biggest like, oh no, like I'm gonna get hurt.
Yeah.
Whatever happens next chapter, we're both getting hurt. That's a promise.
But to make light of it, a lot of people have been like, "Oh, Bonnie hot," but what if she actually child, right?
Yeah.
That's been something that's been going on about. A lot of people are quoting specifically like, when she was in the water, she was a child, and they're saying that ergo, like the water nullified her like fruit's effect.
Yeah.
And then bam, she's like no longer a child. I don't necessarily think that's the case. There are some
because
fruit effects resilient to ocean.
I mean, you can still, like, your devil fruit can still, you just lose like the strength to move, and that's what makes you sink and drown.
Luffy is still stretchy.
Is still malleable. Yeah, he's still, like, mythical fruit or not, he is still malleable in the water. Like, he's still stretchy. I think even Jack, like, he can go into like mammoth mode in the water. He just literally can't move. Like, that whole scene was him underwater, with like his mammoth tusks out, and he's just like, he can't move, and he's like, God damn it, like, somebody come get me. Like, but he's still able to like, yeah. So like, I don't think like the devil fruit can still function. It's just your body loses all of its, you're sapped of all of your strength, and you can't move.
Exactly. So like, but so
the only other point that I would say to go along with what you're about to say is, like, again, if she believes herself to be a child, maybe her default state that her devil fruit puts her in is a child, because she just believes that she is, like, you know, childlike or something.
Right. On top of fucking trauma, right?
Yeah. On top of the hurt.
But what would really be funny is people are out here like, oh, like, I can't be horny Bonnie no more because what if Lolly? No, we're saying what if Bonnie MILF actually? Bonnie secretly MILF.
What if Bonnie actually MILF?
What if Bonnie secretly hot 50-year-old?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Ever thought about that?
Ever thought about that, libs?
Yeah. The liberals don't want you to see that Bonnie is potentially a MILF.
Yeah. They're hiding this fact from you.
Exactly.
Dude,
fucking
MILF Bonnie goes hard, dude.
oh my god.
Pun intended.
Oh god. I I don't have anything else to add. I worry that if I attempted to add anything else, I would it would either be hornier or more depressing or both.
Yeah, I have no crack theory because the actual theory, that is the crack theory. It's so insane to me that it feels plausible that Ginny is Bonnie that I'm sad. That's
Which is why, like, because the world government would know. The world government knows if Shanks/Uta is a Figureland.
Yeah.
They just know by default. So they would know if Bonnie has Buccaneer blood and fucking Buster call her ass at 10 years old.
Dude, that too, like, okay. Like, bruh. Just brain blast me. I need to watch Film Red again because I remember them mentioning something about Uta's, like Uta has the red hair. It's like, okay, is she part Figureland? Like, how did that even come about? Like, man. One Piece is something so great and also so hurtful.
Yeah. One Piece is really cool. I love fiction where the funny rubber boy does funny rubber boy things. Also, holy fuck.
Yeah, also, no, Jesus. Like, please stop the pain. Oh, God, and all of us readers can share the pain that Kuma when we read this flashback.
Dude, we just got over a fucking child having to, like, age up 20 years.
Yeah.
To save his fucking country.
We just got the most, like, somber ending to an arc of, like, yeah, like, okay, like, this is what war does to a country. Like, yeah, we won and we saved everything, but, like, the child gave up his childhood and, like, the scars on the kingdom, the people who ate the smile fruits, like, the scars remain. There is, like, you know, dude, man, Oda. That's going to wrap it up for us this week. Don't forget to follow us on all of our social media. We're at Paramecia Cast on Twitter, Paramecia Fancast everywhere else. Episodes go up every single week following the official release, and as soon as they're uploaded to the hosting site, parameciafancast.libsyn.com, you can find us on any of your favorite podcast listening platforms: Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, YouTube Music.
We're on them all.
We're on all of them. Whatever your preferred platform is, don't forget to like the show, subscribe, leave comments on the episodes, ratings, whatever your platform allows. Any sort of engagement that your favorite platform allows with the show, please do. Any sort of engagement with the media in question really helps push it through the algorithm. We've said it before. We said it all the time. It's your favorite. It's the best way to help your favorite content creators, and also it has single-handedly, in a tangible way, helped us get as big as we are. You can search up right now, people at home, top 5 One Piece podcasts, and, like, no matter what list you look at, like, we are on the top 5, and it's thanks to you guys and SEO. So thank you so much.
Yeah, we don't pay these people to put us on any fucking lists. We don't even know, like, whenever or whatever. We don't know when people talk about us because that's how asymmetric podcasting is. But by sheer fucking numbers, like, it's evident, like, we're surprisingly big. Still not big enough to fucking go at bat with, like, literally anyone else. But, like, I don't know, man. Like, thank y'all.
Thank y'all so much. If you'd like to support us and you got a couple little dollary dues that you're like, hey, I'd like to throw some dollary dues Paramecia Fancast's way, make your way over to our Patreon, patreon.com/Paramecia. We got a whole bunch of patrons there. Nothing, you know, we're not gonna hold back any of the current media we already released. Like, you know, we're not gonna paywall the podcast, but you will get early access to, like, YouTube videos and stuff. Most of the TCG videos I've been putting out, I put them out on Patreon first and then release them, like, a couple days afterwards. But all that money is going to support us, specifically funding the hosting site, so allowing us to have a bigger data cap each month. So you'll probably notice if you've been following us for a while, you're getting now, because of the Patreon, you guys are getting girthier episodes, which we're allowed to do now because we have the bandwidth to give us extra time on the episodes, which is, I feel, fun for us because we get to we don't have to cut ourselves as short, and also good for you guys because you get more content good.
Exactly.
But yeah, also the money, I mean, it's going to go towards getting us new equipment down the line, just stuff to help us scale up and make the channel and the content even better. But shout outs to our patrons: Joe Williams, Chance, Maggie Rice, Ice Stomp, The Lost Crab Rangoon, Zach, Connor, Ashok Murthy, Corey Agra, Fuddy Clam, James Sullivan, David Brownfield, Sam Thompson, Charles Ruth, Ronald Miller, and Bandle Vandal. You guys are amazing. We appreciate your support so much. Dog, that's pretty much it. Like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We got the podcast channel, Paramecia Fancast, and then we have our side channel, Paramecia TV. Paramecia TV is just where all of the right now I'm weekly uploading TCG content, trying out different decks and just showing off different deck lists and stuff. Eventually I have one written and I'm just like cleaning up the script, but I do have some like One Piece theories that I want to post on there. So I'm working on those, but that's just going to be the sort of shorter form channel for other stuff.
Good news for people, the like 5 people that have been waiting for it. I am in a spot where I'm ready to start, like, I have like a rough outline for the intro to deck building video. I just want to, all I'm missing is a fucking deck to like build. Like I just want a concept to grab and like go up with. I have some candidates. I might do like OP05 Rebecca, since that's like a month out. I've also like never built a deck with the whole like dependence on the graveyard type stuff. So
yeah,
I'll see what I fall on, but that might be coming sooner rather than later.
Hell yeah. No, we got some good stuff. I got the next video on the channel for that, TCG wise, Paramecia TV wise, is going to be, I'm going to be going through the OP05 decks now because of the release soon. The next deck I'm going to be playing is OP05 Uta, the green leader that's coming out in the structure deck. That leader looks amazing. I already love the film engine from playing it in green purple Dofi. Losing out on the purple film engine stuff kind of is sad, but at the same time the like the stuff they add to the deck and the leader's ability I think is really fun and really good. So that's gonna be awesome.
Hell yeah.
But other than that, that's it for us. We'll be back next week, I think. Oda's like not going on break again, so I think he's gonna finish the fight and make us sad and then go on break.
Yeah. I think that's the case, where we still got one more before a break. All right. Hell yeah. No crack theory.
Only sadness.
Only sadness. Only sadness. Only sadness. Only sadness.